Routines are important because usually they are a set of habits that you do routinely. And the key word here is consistence. Because if you do something routinely, good habits are a routine, and you do those routines consistently, you're usually going to get to the place that you're hoping, or at least you're going to get to a better place if the habits and the routine are good for you. So for instance, let's say you decide you want to get healthy, but you only want to work out one day a month. That's not consistency. That's not going to get you to feeling or being more healthy. If you decide that you want to save money one day a month, that's not going to get you to the path where you feel financially secure. So we want to talk in this video. I'm going to talk to you about specifically the routines that I love right now, my current frugal routines, because that's another thing. Routines change depending upon stages in life, depending upon if you have kids at home or your kids go off to college or you change jobs, you have a different schedule. There are many things that can change certain routines and the consistency of those. So right now we're going to talk about the 9 frugal routines that I use, that I'm currently loving, that are currently working within my stage of life. Before we get into the video, I want to know what your current favorite money saving routines are, your frugal routines. Put them down in the comments below. The first one that I think most people don't actually think about as far as being frugal or saving money is the routine. I go to bed early and I get up early. I start my day before most people do. I get a lot of comments about how early I go to bed and how early I wake up. That I go to bed too early, that I wake up too early. Well, just for give you an idea, I go to bed between 7:30 and 8. I get up around 4:30 in the morning, sometimes earlier depending upon what my plan is. But the point of this is because I use this time to personally work out. I'll talk about that in another routine. I use this time to get that in. So what that does for me is it sets me up for the day ahead, which sets me up for success. I'm better at work. My mind is clearer. I'm better at doing all kinds of things that will lead me into being more successful with the strategies that I use with money. Waking up consistently at the same time every single day is actually very scientifically good for your body, especially going to bed around the same time. Now, I'm not saying there might occasionally not be a night where I don't go to bed till 9, but those are rare and few and far between. I'm talking maybe a couple of times a year. I often turn down pretty much anything that people want to do if it's going to put me out of the house past 7 o'clock. Obviously, important things are different, but most things are not for me. I have a routine. This is what I like to stick to, and it works for me. The second one is my meal planning and shopping routine. So I've done everything in the past, from extreme couponing, so you go and you get all these things all at once, or you wait 6 weeks for the next sale, to monthly meal planning, to trying to buy for an entire month and going small trips here in between. But the one that's currently working for me in my stage of life, and also with the way things have changed at the grocery store, with costs going up and with couponing pretty much gone, changing to being all digital. Side note here, sometimes I get sidetracked. My husband and I were talking the other day about how I used to have a binder back in the extreme couponing days. If you remember that, or maybe if you participated, let me know in the comments down below. But I had the baseball card holder things in the binder, and I would sit down, look at the sales, look at the coupon, and this was all before the coupon companies got wise to the extreme couponing phase, and they changed it to where it pretty much didn't help you out anymore. Sidetrack over, we're going to talk about what's currently working for me, and that is my weekly routine. So usually on Friday night or Saturday morning, I will sit down and look at the week ahead. I need to see, are all of us here every single night, or what nights are all of us here? Is there a chance that maybe if my husband's home a day during the week, he could prep dinner, so maybe I could do something a little bit better? Is there a time I might be getting home early? Is there a time we're all getting late? That's all going to make a difference on what I plan to cook, and that sets me up for success. If there's a night that we're both not getting home till, 5:30 at night, and we try to make this big meal, that's not going to work. Most likely we're going to end up eating maybe leftovers, which would still be good, but wasting what we had planned and bought for, or maybe we pick something up, or most families would, on the way home. But I don't do that because I plan this routine. For those nights that we are super busy, I'm going to plan something like spaghetti. Super quick, super easy. Everybody loves that. Or I'm going to plan something like breakfast. Again, versatile, super quick, super easy. On the weekends, I'm going to plan something more extravagant, meaning something I can make bigger batches of. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to sit down, I'm going to see what's in my pantry, I'm going to see what's in my fridge, I'm going to see what's on sale at the grocery store, and I'm going to use my meal planning binder, which is a binder that I have that includes calendars. So I will go through weekly, and I'll have a monthly calendar that I put up on the pegboard, and I'll take it down every single week, and I'll write out meals, just dinners. Breakfast and lunches around here are pretty routine. I know to go ahead and jot those things down on my list that I'm out of. Maybe it's yogurt, maybe it's granola, whatever it might be that we need, put that down on the list. But from there, I'll use my meal planning binder, which in it includes a list of family favorite meals. Rather than just sitting there and wasting 10 minutes of my time trying to come up with something, I'm gonna look at my family favorite meal ideas to make it quick. From there, I'm going to write down what I need to make those meals. I might have to reference back to a recipe that I also keep in that binder. One-stop shop. This whole process really only takes me about 10 to 15 minutes, and then I've got a list that I'm taking to the grocery store and I'm getting it done. The next one is my habit and my routine of using my Google Notes app on my phone to stay organized with whatever I need. If it's something that I run out of during the week and I know I need to put it on my list that I just talked about, I will write that in my Google Notes app. My Google Notes app, I'm not sponsoring Google Notes here. You can use whatever Notes apps on your phone. I share a list with my husband. He does the Costco shopping. So if there's something I see we're out of, I'll put that on the Costco list so he has it. Same thing vice versa. I do the regular grocery shopping, so he will put something on my list if he sees that we are out of it. I keep a Notes app for gifts that I want to, that when an idea comes up, maybe in February for Christmas, I'm like, that's a great idea for Christmas. I'm going to write it down because it's a whole lot easier to remember those things than try to remember them around the holiday season. And then I'll also do the same where I will write down gifts that I've already purchased. So I have a list currently already operating in August that has the things that I've already gotten and picked up for that Christmas time frame. I have all kinds of lists. I have lists about YouTube video ideas. I have lists about everything. These keep you organized. This is outside of any budgeting or anything like that. This is a list of maybe things that I need for my wardrobe. Maybe I need a new white t-shirt, so a good reference, or a new belt. I will put that in a list so that when I'm going shopping, I can focus on that one item. I like to have lists. I'm a list person, and staying organized with something easily on my phone, it does help you save money because you remember what you have, you remember what you need to get, and it's easier overall. One that I'm having a ton of fun with is currently I have a routine of making my own baked goods from scratch. So I started, a goal of mine back at beginning of 2024 was to start making more things from scratch, and I did it and I love it. Well, this year I've kind of tried to focus on baked goods. Now some of these things are more complicated, so I am working on them and they're going to take time to perfect, but so far my family thinks they're pretty good. But this is a routine that saves you money if you want to have great things that you can take to maybe holiday parties around Christmas time, or make your own birthday cake rather than going out and buying one. So some of the things, if you're interested, that I've tried is I've been making macarons, you know, they're little cookies on top of each other with a little cream inside. They're made with almond flour and egg whites. So I'm trying those. It's taking some work. I also made eclairs with pastry cream. I made my own pastry cream for the first time. Side note, my daughter and I, and even my husband, we like to watch baking shows, mostly my daughter and I. My husband just kind of is there when we're watching the baking shows. We love that kind of thing. We love seeing all the creativity, and I thought, oh, let me make some pastry cream. The pastry cream was super easy. It was, I was very nervous about it, but the eclairs, that was a little bit more difficult because you've got to let them puff up and be hollow. They didn't turn out hollow the first couple of times. I'm still working on it. But this is one of my new favorite routines because it's also just a way to hang out at home, so you're not spending money and you're trying to make something from scratch. The next routine that really we've made sure that we are going towards has been happening since we were able to pay off our mortgage early. If you've been following this channel long, you know that. Well, we are choosing quality over quantity more than anything, or even over something cheap. So we know that long term, a quality, classic item that doesn't go out of style is a better buy overall. Certain stages in your life, that might not be what you need. If you're at a stage where you're paying off debt and you're living paycheck to paycheck and you're trying to get ahead and you're working those small steps to get there, going and buying the cheapest pair of shoes you can find might be what you need to do at that time. I remember I've been at that stage in my life. That's not the stage that we are at now. We now know we have the ability to look at something, and higher price doesn't always mean quality, but it might be a higher price than the normal thing we would have chosen. We look more at long term because the price per use is a thing. You can get something that you're going to keep for 10, 15 years. That's going to be maybe a piece of furniture, maybe clothes. I have clothes that I've had that long and they still look great. I spent a little bit more on them, and I've noticed, the pieces that I spent more money on years ago, which probably didn't want to or probably shouldn't have, are actually still lasting. So choosing quality over quantity or something cheaper, a cheaper version of something, is a routine that we have definitely gone into more and more. Another one that I've been doing for years now, and I've actually changed up every so often what I do, and I've talked about it on this channel, recommended different people to look into, is my at-home workout routine. I don't go to a gym. It might be beneficial to have more equipment sometimes, but I'm at a stage in my life where I get up early enough. There's not a gym close to me. I can't always leave because, again, I do have a child in elementary school, and there is just limited time with the fact that I work full time. I also have a child, and my husband's here, so I have family time, and my job is pretty darn demanding. And then I also have this YouTube channel, so making time for the gym didn't really work out. So for me, my workout routine is something that's very important. Why? Because as you age, if you are more unhealthy, it costs you more. A couple of years ago, I realized I wasn't paying very good attention to my health, and it started to show, meaning I had certain things like kidney stones, and there were other doctor's appointments, and things were coming up, and then those bills were coming in, and I'm going, oh, hold on a minute. We need to get this under control because this can spiral really quickly, especially as you age if you are unhealthy. So for me, focusing on making sure I'm moving my body and doing things appropriately for my health is key. And one of the things that I do is walk. Getting my steps in is humongous, especially in today's sedentary lifestyle with people working at desks a lot and not moving. We're not moving like we used to. The other thing that I do is strength train, because you can look into it more, but muscle is very, very helpful when you do age as far as helping with your mobility. For me, I want to, if I'm going to live to a ripe older age, be able to move around, be able to take care of myself. I think somebody said be able to put myself on and off the toilet if for as long as possible. So if I can do something today to help with that, to help with those expensive medical bills, I mean, you could probably raise your hand and say, yep, medical bills are expensive. I'm going to do that. And for me, that is working out. And currently the routine that works for me is doing that at home. I strength train on my back porch. I have a weight bench. I have one of those little foam pad things that goes underneath it. I have dumbbells that I use. And then I also combine that with routine walking. Another routine that I do monthly is I monitor my subscription use. Subscriptions are a huge part of our society now and the way things are going. You have subscriptions to things. You don't necessarily go out and buy software. You have a monthly subscription to it. You don't have a satellite dish on your house. You have a monthly streaming service that you use. And these things can add up. And as we talked about at the beginning of this video, things change in your life. For instance, let's talk about a subscription that I had. I had a subscription to a fitness app for somebody specifically who had a fitness app, and I used it to work out. Well, I moved away from that. I found a actual fitness program that I bought the program, and so I can use it and do it on my own because I am at the point now where I don't need help seeing how to do specific exercises. I know how my body should be, my back straight, etc., to help reduce cause of injury, which if you don't, you need to make sure you are looking into that, because if you're not working out or lifting weights correctly, you can really injure yourself. So you need to look at maybe having someone certified to help you with that. anyway, getting back, I was paying for a subscription service. Well, as soon as I decided to move away to a different program, I canceled that subscription service. I'm not even going to waste 1 month of something that I use that I'm not using. And a lot of people can lose this. One of the biggest ways you can really get sidetracked on subscription services are those that make you pay annually, okay? And yeah, sure, Amazon you pay annually too, but there may be some other apps that make you pay annually. Or they say if you pay 12 months, they might say you could pay monthly for $10 a month, or you can get 12 months for $90. Well, obviously the better deal is to do 12 months for $90. But what you don't realize is that 6 months into it, you're no longer even using the thing. And then 6 months after that, it auto renews. So one thing that I also do, if I ever run across a subscription that I want to use, and it has one of those programs in it where you get a discount for doing it annually, and I believe in my heart that I'm going to use it for that year, then I will automatically go in and cancel. Now you still get the entire year, but you don't have to worry that you forgot to go back in and cancel that thing. Next thing you know, you're checking your credit card statement for that thing you bought a year ago, and it's auto renewing and the price has gone up. Oh no. So that's a quick way that I make sure I stay on top of those subscriptions. I make it a routine. Another one that I do is batch cook on the weekends for leftovers during the week. I talked earlier about my shopping routine and how I look at the week ahead for what I'm making and see what works for maybe the schedule that I have that week. And always, here's the thing, it's never going to be perfect. Last week I had something planned on Friday for dinner that I was going to make that wasn't going to take a ton of time, but let me tell you, the situation that happened on Friday has really rocked my world. Not going to talk about it, but the fact is it ruined the day. You know what? I ended up mixing up some pancake batter and making scrambled eggs because my mind was just blown and it just went out the window. But what are we having tonight? We're having those nachos. That's what I had planned to make. So we are making nachos tonight. Hamburger meat on top of tortilla chips with some vegetables and all kinds of things. That's what we're going to do tonight. We're not going to waste it. We're going to reuse it. But those things, it's never going to be perfect. Anywho, getting back to my routine of batch cooking. So on the weekend is when I have my most time, usually Sunday afternoon, evening. Now, I usually design what I'm making on the weekend for leftovers because I have extra time. Those are the things that I can make more of, and I will go ahead and make 2 to 3 more servings, and those things serve as lunches for myself and my husband throughout the week. I will try to make sure there's about 2 dinners during the week, so about 2 dinners will be enough. So if I've got 2 dinners that I've got time enough to make extras of, then I will make sure I have 2 to 3 extra meals out of each of those. That gives us 4 to 6 leftovers to toy around with during the week. Another thing that I do is I constantly, routinely, daily check my budget. I use the Every Dollar budgeting app. Yes, it's free. There is a paying version. I don't need that. Nobody does, really, if you ask me. It's really simple. They've got everything you need for the non-paying version. You can use any app that might be near you as well. There are plenty of budgeting apps, and they're super simple because it's usually fill in the blank. How much money do you have coming in? You can fill in the categories, change the categories. You can delete some categories, add some categories. You can simplify the categories using the app because it's always with you on your phone. You can put your budget in, and then you can track your expenses. I have even taught my daughter how to put in the expense. So we might go grocery shopping and she'll put in how much we spent under the grocery tab, and that's a great way for them to physically see that transaction that happens. They don't see cash exchange. They see maybe you use a card, but they see food. Now this costs money, and this goes into a budget, and that's what we follow. It's a great seed to plant. Checking that budget routinely is important because I know I gauge where I am. It's also a great way to know if a bill didn't get to you. There's happened one time where I didn't get the electricity bill, and I'm like, we're at the end of the month here and I haven't paid this. Where is this? Helps you reduce those late fees, keeps you on track. You remember every single day what goal you're moving towards. You can see if you're getting a little too spendy in one spot. You can say, oh, gonna have to back up a little bit, or I might not make it to the end of the month, but you have to routinely stay on top of that. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Also hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed to this channel. Help us get to, or help me, us. Whom is us? Who'll help me and everybody on here. I'd love to get to 100,000 subscribers. It has been a dream of mine, a goal of mine, I guess, for the last 7.5 years. It'll be 8 years in April when I've had this channel, so I would love to see that number one day. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful week ahead.